Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise, get right to the core.
I'm glad to be here.
So today, we're diving into a really interesting review of Suzanne Collins' new prequel, Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yeah, the Hindi review. Way bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's Fuji Ellen.
An emotional review.
Exactly. And our mission here isn't just to rehash the plot. We want to pull out the deeper emotional stuff, the main messages, maybe some surprising angles from the review itself.
Going beyond the surface level, what does this analysis really tell us?
Okay, let's unpack this then. The focus, right, is Haymitch Abernathy. But this is Haymitch way before we knew him in the original trilogy. The review paints him as, well, clever, sharp, rebellious, and silent.
Right, just trying to get by, basically. Trying to survive a game rigged against him from the start.
Yeah, fresh perspective on where he came from.
And what's really fascinating, picking up on that, is how the review argues it's not just about surviving the arena.
It emphasizes, like, what happens after survival?
Okay.
After the cameras stop rolling, the applause dies down.
Ah, the aftermath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The review digs into the Capitol's whole psychological game.
Yeah.
How they force people not just to fight, but to smile through the pain.
Wow.
Yeah, become part of the spectacle, to like wear their trauma-like costumes. That phrase really stuck with me.
Wear their trauma-like costumes, that is. Yeah, that's chilling.
It's a sharp look at how propaganda works, how it sort of co-ops suffering, makes it part of the entertainment.
So the review sets up Haymitch, this quiet rebel, forced into this awful performance. How does it describe his specific way of coping, his inner world?
Well, it really dives into his head, arguing his silent rebellion wasn't just attitude. It was like a survival strategy.
A mechanism.
Totally. He's constantly calculating, using his brain as his main weapon against the whole spectacle.
Right.
The review uses phrases like, a mind too sharp for its own good. It suggests his intelligence was always going to be a problem for him in that system.
Yeah.
A burden, almost.
Because he saw through it.
Exactly. He understood the game on a deeper level, not just physically, but emotionally, psychologically, even as a kid, and knowing the Capitol's true nature. Well, that makes his later cynicism make so much more sense, doesn't it?
It really does. It recasts everything. So the review argues the real weight isn't just about, who wins or loses the fight itself.
Right. Not the central question.
So what is the core message then, according to this analysis? What's the real weight it wants us to feel?
It's the cost. The lasting cost of being just a piece in their game. And the review puts it so bluntly, it's actually kind of startling. It says, winning doesn't mean freedom. It just means you get to keep suffering a little longer.
Oof, that's bleak.
It is bleak, but it forces you to reconsider what victory even means in that context. What kind of win is it if it just leads to a different kind of pain, a longer sentence?
That's a powerful way to frame it. And it connects to what the review apparently says about how real-world capitals are born.
Yeah, not just through power, but through
silence and spectatorship. Our silence, our watching.
Exactly. It suggests we play a role just by observing, by consuming these stories without questioning them.
So, wrapping this up, this deep dive into the review, Eltana, it really pushes back, doesn't it? It suggests the book itself wants you, the reader, to question the stories we celebrate.
And the pain we ignore. Or even find entertaining.
Yeah. The ultimate takeaway, maybe the moral from this review's perspective, seems to be that stark warning.
Don't lose your humanity while watching someone else lose theirs. It's a challenge, really.
A challenge to how we engage with these narratives, and maybe even with suffering in the real world, definitely leaves you with something to think about long after you finish reading.
Absolutely. You won't look at victory the same way.